What's up? Welcome back. Thanks for coming to the channel. Please subscribe when you can. Live from the Esplanade Studios in New Orleans, Louisiana. The funkiest trombone player you'll ever hear. Big Sam and Funky Nation.
What's happening, y'all? We are Big Sam's Funky Nation from right here in New Orleans, Louisiana, baby. We came to have a good time. How about y'all? Yeah. Ain't nothing but a party up in here tonight, baby. Or today, or whenever you're watching. Hey! Check it out. Look, everybody come and clap your hands. We're making all the people dance. We know you dig the funk like we do. I make you wanna shout for joy. Come on and make some noise. We got that new-ish and that old school. If you ain't come to dance, you ain't gotta go on home. But you gotta get them hell up out of here. Yeah, I say move your body from left to right. You had a few drinks, now
Welcome to Take Me to the River, a movement of social consciousness. And today, I have one of the most energetic, amazing trombone players, but even a better performer, Big Sam and his band, Funky Nation. Thanks for coming. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having us, you dig? Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty good. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man.
Yeah,
I think we've all been in hard times. What you been doing during the pandemic?
Writing.
Good.
Pretty much, yeah. Just been writing a lot. Have 3 singles out now that I put out since the pandemic. Really just, that's it, man. I'm trying to do like birthday parties and private events that I can do with the band, like not at a club or whatever, but if I'll come to your house and play on your porch, you know. Payers and tippers well, and we're good, you know. So that's how we've been managing to, you know, almost stay afloat. Because if we're not staying afloat, we're like right there. But you know, it's working out a little bit for the most part.
Yeah, it's been so tough for musicians.
Yeah.
You know, the Save Our Stages just was passed, luckily, but
Right.
not too much for the independent musicians, you know.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that will filter through to the musicians.
Right, I hope so too. That's my man. I'm like, oh my God. I said that's cool. We're saving the venues, but I hope that some of that trickles down to the musicians. You did, because I mean, we're all in this thing together, and has it been 10 months now? Like 10 months pretty much, like no real work. You dig what I'm saying? And guess what? Our bills are still piling up, and all of us, we pay what we can pay when we can pay it. But even like my equipment, I had like a perfect credit score, but not now. After 10 months of like no work, it's just going down the drain now. All those years of hard work, you know. So it's a hard time for all of us, but we're doing what we can do to get through. And then just playing music, even like today, even though we're playing to the cameras, which is weird, like, you know, because I started doing some in my driveway and going live on Facebook, and just to play to a camera, period, is just weird for us, you know. For me especially, just being able to perform and play and hang out with your cats, man, it's you know, it gives you like a huge sigh of relief, like there's hope, you know what I mean? So that's what we've been dealing with. So
There's definitely hope. Your energy level, what you bring to a performance. I remember coming into a club, I can't remember if it was a Howlin' Wolf or DBA or somewhere, and I heard the music outside, and the place was like literally shaking. It must have been a Howlin' Wolf.
yeah, you're right.
Right. And it was like literally shaking, and I'm like, oh, I wonder who's in there. You know, I didn't know. I was meeting up with somebody, and bam, I walked through the door, and I got hit by a trombone Mac truck.
Right.
Yeah, you hit me,
Take
man.
that in your face.
I'll tell you what, Sam, I don't think there's a more energetic act in the country.
Oh, thanks,
You know,
man.
you're what you bring to the performance is just amazing. So everybody, when we can go out and see live music, which will be soon, God willing.
Right.
In the meantime, you can buy Sam's records and merchandise. Look at his social media,
Yep.
Instagram, Facebook.
Yep.
He'll take care of you.
Yep. Just hit me up
you know,
directly.
That's how you can support musicians.
Yep.
Is to buy their music.
Exactly.
And buy their merchandise. And if Sam's out on doing a live stream, look for him.
Please do. Yeah. I say clap your hands, y'all. that'll make your body groove. See, I like the music that'll make you scream and shout. See, I like the music. Let me show you what it's all about. See, I like the music. 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 Don't you like the music? I like the music. I like the music. I like the music. I want to hear y'all out there. Come on, look. See, I like the music. 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 Don't you like the music? I like the music. I like the music. I like the music. Y'all can do better than that, baby. Come on. See, I like the music. I like the music. I like the music. I like the music. Don't you like the music? I like the music. I like the music.
So Sam, you started with the Dirty Dozen Brass Band, which has produced so many great musicians. So tell me about the early part of coming up.
Early part coming up, man. It's been a hell of a journey. You dig? Well, I was playing in the march. You know, I was always a big kid. First of all, the size you see right now is the size I was in the 6th grade. You know, and
you're kidding me.
Dead ass, man. It's crazy. And I thought I'd be a basketball player. You know, especially black kid coming from and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a basketball player. Nah. So I was playing basketball. They told me I was too big to play with my age group. Then I wasn't old enough to play with the older kids. So I said, I'll join the marching band. The marching band culture here in New Orleans is so rich and so strong. I was like, okay, I'll join the marching band. We do Mardi Gras, we do football games, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, cool. Go to the band room, and I'm like, cool. And he's like, well, what do you want to play? I said, whatever you need somebody on. He said, the trombone. I said, what's that? So his name was Darryl Dickerson, and so that's how I ended up playing trombone. That's 6th grade. And then by the time it was time for me to graduate to go to high school, I started developing, I realized that I was pretty good, I said, man, what can I do to get better and get better, And my mom bought me a Dirty Dozen Brass Band album called Ears to the Wall. And that was their funk album. It had like a full drum kit, electric bass, guitar, keys, and they were rocking. I was like, man, this is what I want to do. I said, I want to play with this band or have my own band like it. So I'm in the 10th grade now. Some friends of mine in the marching band, Andrew Bayham, Walter Ramsey, they all wanted to start a band. So we all started the Stooges Brass Band back when I was in the 10th grade. And I did that all while I was attending NOLA. And while I was playing with the Stooges, I also ended up playing with the Soul Rebels at the same time, too. So I played with the Soul Rebels for a while. And here in New Orleans, you don't have to be of age to get into, some of the clubs, especially when you're a musician. So I was also in high school playing in some of these ballrooms and some of the clubs around the city, So I was doing bebop gigs and stuff. So, we were just getting it in and grinding. We were like making money, not even realizing how much money we were making as kids. Oh man, okay, we're gonna buy some shoes, or we're gonna buy some donuts. We're gonna, like whatever we wanted, we were cool. We're gonna buy some DVDs. That was hot at the time, So and that was like the real beginning of it all, man. And the way I ended up with Dirty Dozen Brass Band is that I was attending one of my homegirls on birthday parties, and she turned 16, and I'm in her room and she has like Billie Holiday and John Coltrane, Louis Armstrong, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis. I'm like, you into jazz? And she was like, nah, my dad is. I said, oh, cool. She said, yeah, you plays trumpet. I said, oh, cool. She said, yeah, he plays with the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. I said, what? So I said, where he at? That's what I said, where he at? And just so happened that he was in town for her birthday. It was her party, and it was E.T., Ephraim Towns. So I kind of ditched the party and hollered at him. So I'm like, 15 years old, 16 years old, and I'm like, hey, man, you ever need a trombone player, give me a call, And he was, all right, dude. I said, all right, cool. And, man, like 3 years later, I was 19 years old when I got the call from him. And I was on another gig at Jazzland here in New Orleans. It was an amusement park that we used to have back in the day, and I was performing there. And he hit me up, and I was like, hey, dude, you ready to go on the road? I said, yeah. He said, all right, cool. I said, when we leave? He said, tomorrow. I said, what? He said, yeah. I said, for how long? He said, 3 months. I said, let me call my mom and make sure it's okay, you know. So I called my mom. She didn't like it because I was going to stop going to UNO, University of New Orleans at that point, you know. And but that was it, man. I went on the road with them, and we drove from New Orleans to like Long Island or something like that, straight. It was like 9 of us in a church van, like crammed with equipment and gear, no trailer, nothing, just, we didn't have sprinters and all that back then yet, you know. So it was tight, man. But, you know, I played with the Dozen for 4 years. I started my band during my second year with them, and I didn't pursue my band full time until around 2007 or 2008, mainly because once I left Dirty Dozen to focus on Funk Nation, I got a call from Alan Tucson. So then I was like, oh shit, I can't tell Alan no, you know. So I played with Alan Tucson, man, up until, you know, he passed away, you know, rest in peace, man.
Wow. So how was that playing with Alan? I mean, it must have been kind of a learning experience every night.
Totally, man. Like, and believe it or not, like every time we got together and did a rehearsal or performed, once Alan got behind those keys, man, it was like, bruh, like I got chills. I was like, oh my God, it just sounds so good. It's like he had a way with music, man, that like I've never felt that feeling from any other musician in the world.
What's the one thing you carry away from him, or that you remember as a piece of sage advice? You
know, he's like one of the hippest, classiest cats that you ever meet. You dig what I'm saying? And one thing with the music, he said always make it intentional. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're doing, let them know that you meant it. You know what I mean? So even now when I play with like, hey, you gonna take this? You know, like this is my attitude, this is my swag, this is what I'm bringing to the table. You know. So I would say that more than anything. And he treated all of us with, you know, like first class, man, like musicians. It was just like, and you know, I'm just like, you know what, I want to always make sure that my cats are comfortable. I don't want my cats to have to do anything, even if it's all on me. If I'm doing 99.3% of the driving, you know, if we get our own hotel rooms and stuff like that, I want to make sure everybody's comfortable, not have to do anything but worry about get up on the stage, put on a great show, and get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Did he require you to dress a certain way?
No, not at all, man. Like, well, most of his shows anyway, we all wore black suits. You know, if he said we're black, we wear black. He might say, okay, we're all white. So it was always simple, you know. Okay, wear a black suit with whatever kind of tie you want. But it was never like you have to do this like this or whatever, you know. But he was pretty laid back, man. He was a laid back cat. And another thing is, I mean, he was a perfectionist too. So we never played the same arrangement. Like people may not realize it because we're horn players. But whenever we hit the stage with him, it was always a different arrangement.
Wow.
He would come in and have like charts, and then we were like, "Oh, we know this." He was like, "Try this one," you know. So we'll read it. Then he'll walk in. He said, "Everybody, just all the horns. Play a note. It doesn't matter. Just play a note." And we'll play. He's just beautiful. Works every time. I'm like, that's crazy, and it always worked. No matter what note we all played, all 6 of us, it just came out beautiful, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
So. Other inspiring musicians?
For me, man, from New Orleans, first of all, for me is Alan, you know, Dr. John, Neville Brothers, Meters, all of those cats. And then going to the brass band where you got Dirty Dozen, Rebirth, Soul Rebels, all those cats. You know, those were like, you know, Preservation Hall, Treme, all those cats. That's my inspiration. That's where I came up from. And then once I got deep into music, it was more like a James Brown, and then Prince and Marvin Gaye and the Time, the Gap Band. Chuck Brown, the list goes on and on and on, man. I have so many different inspirations. Did I say P-Funk? I know I had to say P-Funk because P-Funk,
oh, yeah.
you know? Like, I feel like my music is one big giant gumbo of like all of those different musical giants, you dig? Give them some of that shake, baby. Woo! Woo! Good Lord, that felt good. Hey, Fess, let's hit him again. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on. Woo! want to talk to the people. Now check this out. When I ask you, do you feel like moving your body? Can I get it? Hell yeah! When I ask you, do you feel like moving your body? Can I get it? Hell yeah! Do you feel like moving your body, y'all? Do you feel like moving your body, y'all? Do you feel like moving your body? Do you feel like moving your body, y'all? Yo, move your body to the left, move your body to the right. Y'all feeling good out there tonight? Somebody make some noise. You feeling good on this beautiful day? Make some noise. It might be a rainy day, I don't know. Hey! Yeah. Check. You're looking good, man. Come on, back it up. Come and give it to me, that funky stuff. You're looking good, man. Come on, back it up. Come and give it to me, that funky stuff. What we want, fellas? Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that funky stuff. Give me that funky stuff. Yeah. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that funky stuff. Give me that funky stuff. You're looking good, mom. Come on, back it up. Come and give it to me, that funky stuff. You're looking good, mom. Come on, back it up. Come and give it to me, that funky stuff. What we want, fella? Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that funky stuff. Give me that funky stuff. Yeah. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that funky stuff. Give me that funky stuff. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together and make some noise for the one, the only, Drew, Professor Bayham. Yeah. Y'all get it for Drew, Professor Bayham.
think that probably you got some really good training with Dirty Dozen on how to infuse different genres into one.
Definitely, because they started all of that, man. You know, like Dirty Dozen was on like mainstream radio back in the day, because that's what was mainstream. That was pop. You dig? They started taking bebop tunes and making them into like brass band songs. They started taking songs from the radio, making them to brass band songs. And then, you know, you had Rebirth, and they came and they took it to another level. Then you had Soul Rebels, you know, and it's a bunch of other bands that did it too, but I'm thinking about the ones that I like had involvement with. And they flipped it too, man, and just made it such a beautiful thing, you know?
It's interesting because when I talk to brass bands and talk to Dirty Dozen and Rebirth and all the, you know, great brass bands, it's generations, right? You've got the first gen, which is, you know, Olympia and Tuxedo and those guys, and then Dirty Dozen comes and kind of flips the switch, right? And says, hey, it's okay to bring other music in.
Exactly. And that's what you want. You want it to consistently evolve. You dig? When I first started, my objective at the beginning anyway was to take the brass band world to the stage. You know, and that might be why some people still call me a brass band when I'm like, no, I kind of have electric bass and keys and guitar, you know. I don't have a sousaphone and all this kind of stuff. But that's probably why people still consider me a brass band. Or maybe just because I play a horn up front of the stage. I don't know. I mean, don't forget, at 15, that's kind of late in New Orleans anyway to start playing, you know. So, and after me playing with so many people and getting inspiration from so many different places, and I started like dealing with the funk, I was dealing with rock for a minute too. It's just, this is what came out, you know. This is a product of that. You know? So
I think there's brass bands elements, but you are a funk band.
Exactly.
I mean, you are call it funk rock.
And that's the thing. It's so many different things. You know, we can't really label it, but that's cool with me. Just call me. You dig?
What artists would you love to collaborate with? Is there any wish list you have?
Like just a collab. I mean, like a true collab, and not just like sitting with somebody. It'll be P-Funk, man. You know, George Clinton is like the man. You dig? Maybe George Clinton and Charlie Wilson. Like those two cats.
Uncle Charlie.
Oh yeah, Uncle Charlie. And if I could slip, you know, Marvin's Day and Time up in there. We opened for Marvin's Day once, and they just blew the roof off the sucker, man. We was at a festival. They killed it, you know, somewhere in Ohio, and they killed it.
What are your some of your favorite collaborations?
Woo! That's a lot.
Well, tell us a little bit about Elvis Costello. I know you played with him.
Yeah, so playing with Elvis, man, and once again, that was with Alan Toussaint and Elvis, and just to play with those two giants, man, those two legends, it was unbelievable. It was remarkable, man. Every night they brought their A game. They made us bring our A game, you know, and within the horn section is the cats from Chocolate Milk, you know, so you got to highlight those cats too, man. Those cats are killing. And they all backed up Alan and Lee Dorsey. They backed up a lot of cats, you know, a lot of artists. So just being there, I was like 20, 25 years old. You know, everybody else was like at least 45 or whatever, you know. And they put pressure on me though, because they had one part of the show that we did with Alan and Elvis that it was just like solo trombone. And I like a solo where I could play what I want. It's a particular part where I had to like go from the bottom of my horn to like the upper register, and every night I nailed it for like 3 weeks straight. You know, I never cracked. I always hit it, and they were like, "Man, how do you do that, man? Every night it's just perfect, man." I said, "Man, don't do that." I said, "Because I'm just reading the music, and y'all putting that pressure on me like that." You know, that was one of my great memories with those cats, man. Like playing with Elvis and Alan Toussaint, playing with Green Day and U2 for the homecoming game for the Saints back after Katrina. They ain't say my name, no Bono. You didn't say my name, but what's happening with that? But Pearl Jam at Jazz Fest, Dave Matthews hooking up with those cats. You know, I even got to sit in with P-Funk at Voodoo Fest one year, man.
Oh wow, so, that must have been just
that was awesome, man. You know, Prince is the main cat I've always wanted to hook up with, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. You know. So
tell me a little bit about how you decided to start fronting your own band. It just seems to me it had to be in you from the very beginning.
and you know what, man? That's funny because like I don't think it had to be in me, maybe, but I didn't realize it until later. You dig? Because I started with the Dozen. Once I started with the Dozen, I was like, oh, cool, I'll just start my own band for whenever I'm in town. I'll just do some shows on my own. Just like to have some fun with some friends or whatever, you dig? I mean, the Dozen was out 300 days out the year. So that didn't give me a lot of time to really do anything, you know? But I called my homeboys up and we made it happen, started the band off. I'll say for the most part, man, I learned how to be a front man just from being on the street, you know? When I was coming up with the Stooges, we performed on the street. when I started playing with Soul Rebels, they already had like their whole stage show worked out, you know. So and it's a different Soul Rebels than what you see now, but it's still evolved into that from, you know, what they used to do.
So were you busking like a lot?
Yeah, I was out there getting it, you know, and it helped me in all areas, man, because we could play in a performance arts center, and they'd be like, oh man, we might have to tone it down some or whatever. I said, just let me do what I do, man, and we'll be straight, you know, like, and it works every time, like, you know, like. And not to offend anybody, but they be like, man, it's a bunch of old white people up in here, man. We'll have to like, and I'm like, they want to have fun too. They don't want to be old talking about, oh, we're going to play this nice, soft, quiet jazz or whatever they're going to play. Nah, some of them might want to walk out and leave or whatever, but for the most part, they came out to have a good time. My thing is that once you saw who was performing, you did a little, there's Google now. You Googled it, you know what's happening, so you ain't going to come out and get the funk and be like, oh, this funk is horrible. You know, I got to leave. Nah, you come in, you get it, you dance. You know, we had a lady 95 years old one day. At one show, she got up and she got low. When we got low, she got on the floor with us. I was like, oh, man, nobody can tell me nothing now. She's ready, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, you drove like 6, 7, 8 hours from San Antonio?
9 hours, man.
To just come back and play after Katrina. To tell me a little bit about the Katrina experience and go right into Treme, because you were a repeating member on the cast of Treme.
Yeah, you're right, bet. So during Katrina, I ended up in San Antonio, Texas, not by choice. I just ended up there, you know, because no offense, San Antonio, I appreciate y'all, you know, helping me out, getting back on my feet, but the city, as far as being a musical city, sucks. Yeah. Sucks ass. Like, it is not. It's horrible.
I can attest.
You know, right? You know what I mean? And it was like, oh man, you can go down. You go down to the Riverwalk. I'm like, that's not the Riverwalk. Like, you know, like no. Like,
somebody made that.
Right. You know, I'm like, no, man, y'all tripping. So anyway, I ended up in guess who I played with and did a few shows with Buddy Miles in San Antonio.
Oh wow.
He was looking for like a band, really. And then, you know, he found like a couple of cats and somebody told him about me from New Orleans. And so we did like 3 shows at some little restaurant. And he was so killing. He tried to get me to go on the road with him. But I was like, nah, man, I'm kind of just, you know, sitting back and doing my own thing. And then that's when I get the call from Elvis and Allen right after that. So I was like, okay, cool. San Antonio sucked so bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I love y'all. But, you know, I was driving home every weekend, 9 hours every weekend just to like do some shows here in the city, you know. Whether it was Le Bon Ton or...
I think Bon Ton was the first one back, right?
Le Bon Ton was definitely the first one back because I was there like most of the time. It was like Le Bon Ton, Dragons Den, but I was like here every weekend driving 9 hours stop, man. And just to like help the city rebuild and like, you know, try to get this thing going again, you dig?
Yeah.
And when I was back in San Antonio, it sucked so bad that I was driving to Austin 3 times a week. Because, you know, I had my homeboy Topaz and a bunch of other cats out there performing on a weekly basis. So I was like, I'm not staying in San Antonio. So I was driving to Austin 3 times a week and then back home every weekend and back to San Antonio, like all by myself, just hitting the road, man. And till this day, I do not like driving west. I do not like driving towards Baton Rouge because I feel like I have to drive to San Antonio. You know, I hate it. I'm like, oh my God. Please don't tell me. I'd rather drive to Florida than have to go to Baton Rouge just because I don't want to have to go west, you know. That's, you know, where I ended up doing Katrina and, you know, a few years later, you know, after doing the tour with Elvis and Allen and all that kind of stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm about to just move back home, you know. So I moved back home back like 2008 because it was 2 years I was gone. So 7 to 8, I came back home. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on. It's funky now. Extra, y'all. Have you heard the news? I wanna know right now. Do you know we got a funky groove? Guess what, baby? It'll make you move. You damn right. Everybody, come on. Get up, get on up, get on up. I'll show you what it's hitting for. I said, I'll show you what it's hitting for, y'all. It's your thing, it's your thing, it's your thing. I said a party like Mardi Gras. I say know I like it, girl. You move that sexy body, girl. Yeah, I see what? Move it up, move it down. I see moving all around. Twerk it, twerk it, twerk it now. Twerk it, work it. I better get up, get on up, get on up. Show me what it's hitting for. You better show me what it's hitting for, girl. Yeah, it's your thing, it's your thing, it's your thing. I said a party like Mardi Gras. I say party like Mardi Gras, yeah. And show me what you got, show me what you got. Oh, show me what you got, show me what you got. Yeah, show me what you got, show me what you got. Show me what you got, show me what you got. Yeah, show me what you got, show me what you got. Yeah, show me what you got, show me what you got. Show me what you got, show me what you got. Show me what you got for a poacher. Woo! We want to thank y'all so much for having us. We had a wonderful time. We hope y'all did too, baby. Right about now, I want to take the time out and introduce all the cats up here working so hard, you did. Yeah, check it out. On the guitar, shit out that 17th at Holly Grove, baby. Y'all give it up for the one and only Mr. Seizo Shibayama. On the keys, he's the grandest marshal of them all. Make some noise for the one and only Mr. Kendrick Marshall on the keys. On the drums, we got the young lion. We call him Sergeant Gutter. Give it up for the one and only Alfred Jordan on the drums. On the bass, giving it to you right up in your face. We call him Jay Black. We call him Mubaka. Give it up for the one and only Jerry J. Black Henderson. Yeah. Get the gang. Come on. On the trumpet and vocals with all the dance moves. Yeah. Get the gang. Hey! We call him the Fessa. Y'all give it up for Drew, the Fessa Bayham. Yeah.
Thank you kindly. And I want y'all to make a big round of applause. He stands at 6'2", 245 pounds and reaching 44 and 3/4 inches. He hails from uptown New Orleans, Louisiana.
Who that?
On the trombone. He's dancing all over the place. He's sweating up a stove for you. I want you to make some noise and give it up. Yeah, for Mr. Big Sam Williams.
Yeah. One more time, thank y'all so much. We had a wonderful time. We're going to see you on the other side of this thing, baby. You heard me? That's right. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, Big Sam's Funky Nation. If you're on Facebook, follow us, Big Sam's Funky Nation. Instagram, follow us, Funky Big Sam. Twitter, Funky Big Sam, baby. Yeah, y'all feeling good? Yeah, you're right. Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Peace and love. Stay healthy, baby. Let's get it. See you next time, baby.
What's the venue here in New Orleans that you'd love it to be your first gig back?
Really Blue Nile, mainly because, I helped, build Blue Nile. Like, I used to do weeklies there. It's kind of like family, you dig? So Blue Nile, I would love to be, I would love for them to be my first venue, performing back at after all this is over. Sad part is that, they haven't done, any shows, anything at all, and I don't blame them. It's hard trying to, get people to come in and pay your staff and all of that. I wish I can do Blue Nile again, once this is all over.
So Treme, how was that experience?
Treme was great, man. Window at the, I was even bigger than I am now back then because I went on the whole weight loss thing. On Treme, you see me as a slimmer version because I stopped eating carbs and it was crazy. Window had my image. I'm a big boy. Had a Kango on with the blazers. That's what I was wearing at that time, man. Antoine Baptiste was he was modeled after me, after my image, not all the other shit he was doing, but they called me too to come and get in Treme and play, myself, do a few cameos and play with the cats and stuff like that. So it was fun playing with those guys, man. I wish the show would have lasted, but when you're being real, that's what happens.
It had a good run.
Yeah, well, it was 3 seasons. You know, I wish it could have been longer. Wish it would still be going on right now, but it is what it is. I ain't tripping.
So take me to the river. You were involved in 2 of our most memorable. I mean, they were all memorable. I shouldn't say most.
Yeah,
memorable,
they all.
But they were all really, really memorable. But the one that I'd start with is the Snoop session in LA.
Yeah.
And so tell me about your view and how you enjoyed or how you.
It was great, man. First of all, just being able to formally meet Snoop, because I met him twice before in Amsterdam, North Sea Jazz Fest. That's where we were. To meet him in his own setting, his studio, with all his cars and his dogs in the yard. I'm like, man, this is crazy, You could tell he's just a straight up cat, you know what I'm saying? He just hanging out, just chilling for the most part. It's that's his shit. So but the session itself, man, what we played Who's
Yes,
Gonna Have Brother Give? Yes, we can.
Yeah.
I thought it was Brother. You sure?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
He said, yeah, I'm very sure. I know. Yeah, we did Yes We Can. We did do Yes We Can. And Alan's song, and it's just so funky, man. And he he was spitting on that, man. I've been waiting. I ain't gonna tell y'all how long I've been waiting for that song to come out. I'm still waiting. Mom was at him, bro. I'm like, hey, time's a wasting,
Now, did you know G-Eazy when he was here in New Orleans?
Yeah, I did a couple of shows with not performing together, but we did shows together back when he was here in New Orleans, before he really blew up, So that was cool. But he doesn't remember me now, So he's a huge star now too, G-Eazy, he's killing the game right now.
How was it playing with him?
It was sick, man. It was sick. You could tell he was going to make it. You know what I mean? Because all of us used to rehearse over at the Fontainebleau Studios, and you could even hear them coming out the room. It was like, man, that dude up in the spitting, man, this is gonna be sick, And the next thing you know, he moved to LA or something, and you started hearing him on the radio. It was like, man, who is this? It's like, oh snap, he made it, So it's cool. But Jeezy is great, man. Yeah, cool cat.
And the other session was, unfortunately, was the last Neville Brothers session
ever. That was it. I remember being there on that session, and it was a great time, man. And we were all just sitting there, as you know, and Aaron looked around. I think all of you guys looked around and noticed that we could possibly do something, especially if Art was there. So Aaron told Ian to call us Paul. They get on the phone and call you Paul. Tell him, come down to the studio. Tell him I said, come on. And an hour later, he was there. And we're like, wow, this is crazy. So we recorded that tune, man.
Wild Chapatulas.
Wild Chapatulas, yeah. I heard it. It came out killing.
It's a great song and a great homage to the Nevilles and to the Neville
and
family.
Hercules.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was Aaron, and he also did Stomping Ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of those songs were great, man. And I got to hear a couple of them. I'm like, oh my God, this shit's so funky. You know what I mean? Oh my God. And Aaron's voice, man. Aaron's just one of those cats where, he starts saying, oh, that's Aaron, and so soulful with it, you dig? It's like, man, he's that dude,
Absolutely.
For real.
Absolutely.
For real.
Your presence, Sam, is just magnetic.
Oh,
you bring
thanks,
so
man.
much love and inspiration.
Appreciate it.
And we need your energy. Without it, we would be even poorer than we are now.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks,
so
man. Appreciate that.
We thank you for all that you give us, and
Anytime.
keep doing it. And we're here to support you. You're forever a member of the Take Me to the River family.
Most definitely, baby. You already know.
And
Yeah,
we're gonna continue to do stuff together.
Please do. Hey, I'm down for that. I hope you down, because we're gonna get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, Sam.
Anytime. Thank you, man. Be
Thanks
cool.
for coming today.
Anytime. All day.